At the dawn of the 7th century, the known world was dominated by two superpowers. To the west stood the Byzantine Empire, the Eastern Romans, a Greek-speaking Christian state and the inheritor of Rome's legacy. Their military, particularly their navy, was formidable and armed with Greek fire, a devastating and secret incendiary weapon. Yet decades of relentless war with their perennial rival, the Sasanian Persian Empire, had left both empires militarily and economically exhausted, drained of men, treasure, and confidence after generations of bloodshed. To the east rose the Sasanian Empire, the last great pre-Islamic Iranian power, a wealthy realm with a strong bureaucracy and the unifying religion of Zoroastrianism. The pride of the Sasanian army was its heavy cavalry, fully armored cataphracts, whose tactics influenced the ancient world and terrified opponents. To the south of these weakening giants lay the Arabian Peninsula, a forgotten land fragmented by countless nomadic Bedouin tribes, where constant warfare and clan loyalty were the only law. Yet amidst this chaos, the city of Mecca had emerged as a prosperous center of trade, an oasis of wealth, security, and order in the desert. This was a world of polytheism, where each tribe had its own gods. But from this city, a new message of one God would soon arise, uniting shepherds and warriors into a force that could challenge the empires themselves. The message of a single God and a unified community from the Prophet Muhammad spread across the Arabian Peninsula, offering a common purpose to warring tribes and rival clans. Yet immediately after the Prophet's death in June 332, this fragile unity was threatened. Many Arab tribes rebelled, refusing to recognize the authority of Abu Bakr, the first caliph, and ceasing to pay the zakat tax, some even rallying around rival prophets who promised new revelations and power. Facing collapse, Abu Bakr acted decisively, launching the Ridda Wars, or Wars of Apostasy, to restore unity. Under the brilliant general Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Muslim armies confronted the rebels in bloody engagements such as the Battle of Yarmouk, where thousands perished. These wars ended with victory for the caliphate, consolidating the new Islamic state and redirecting Arab military energy outward toward the exhausted empires to the north. The result was a disciplined, united people with a sharpened warrior ethos ready for expansion. Syria was the first province taken from the Byzantines. Led by gifted commanders like Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Muslim armies crossed the frontier with remarkable speed. Though often outnumbered, they were disciplined, mobile, and determined, gaining victories such as Ajnadain in 634. In response, Emperor Heraclius assembled a vast but divided army of Byzantines, Slavs, Franks, and Christian Arabs. Seeing the danger, Khalid withdrew to concentrate his forces for a decisive clash. At Yarmouk, two worlds collided. After days of skirmishes, a sandstorm struck on the decisive day, and Khalid seized the moment, unleashing his elite mobile guard. Blinded and panicked, the Byzantine lines collapsed, many soldiers falling into deep ravines as they fled in terror. The Battle of Yarmouk was a decisive victory that shattered Byzantine power in the Levant, forced the retreat of Heraclius, and opened the road to Jerusalem, one of the holiest cities of the ancient world. Meanwhile, in the east, the Muslims faced the Sasanians at al-Qadisiyyah. There they encountered war elephants, a new and terrifying challenge. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas used psychological tactics before the battle, but on the first day, the elephants caused chaos. The Muslims quickly adapted, training special units to attack the elephants' eyes and cut the howdah straps, turning Persia's strength into a fatal weakness. They even used camouflage camels to frighten Persian cavalry horses, a clever tactic that disrupted enemy formations. On the fourth day, amidst a sandstorm, the Sasanian commander Rostam was killed. His death broke Persian morale, and their army fled in panic, many slaughtered at the river. Al-Qadisiyyah was a decisive victory, ending Sasanian control in Iraq and opening the way for the conquest of Persia itself. Soon after, the ancient capital of Ctesiphon fell, its treasures seized and its libraries dispersed, marking the twilight of Sasanian civilization. In 639, Amr ibn al-As made a daring gamble, leading a small force into Egypt, one of Byzantium's richest provinces and the empire's crucial breadbasket. Caliph Umar, fearing disaster, ordered him to withdraw, but Amr cleverly delayed opening the letter until his army had entered Egyptian soil, making retreat impossible. Through a series of sieges, the Muslims advanced from fortress to fortress. Egypt's majority Coptic Christians, persecuted by Byzantine authorities, offered little resistance and sometimes welcomed the invaders as liberators. The capture of Alexandria in 642 ended 7 centuries of Roman rule. Amar's tolerance toward the exiled Coptic patriarch won local support, and Egypt's grain and wealth now fueled future conquests, giving the caliphate a powerful and reliable base. The conquest of North Africa proved far more difficult. The Berbers, fierce and freedom-loving, resisted stubbornly. Uqba ibn Nafi led his men to the Atlantic, but was later ambushed and killed. His successors faced uprisings, including that of the warrior queen Kahina, whose defiance became legendary. Only after decades of struggle was the region subdued, and Muslim commanders turned their gaze across the sea to Spain, where the Visigothic kingdom was weakened by civil strife, succession disputes, and bitter rivalry. In 711, Tariq ibn Ziyad led 7,000 mostly Berber soldiers across the Strait of Gibraltar. According to legend, he burned his ships to inspire his men, declaring there was no turning back. They entered a kingdom divided, where King Roderick faced rivals who considered him a usurper. At the Battle of Guadalete, betrayal shattered Visigothic unity. Roderick was defeated and killed, and within a few years most of Iberia was under Muslim rule, a conquest so swift it stunned all Europe. The ambition then turned again to Constantinople, the jewel of the Byzantine world. Caliph Muawiyah launched a prolonged naval siege beginning in 674. But the Byzantines fought back with Greek fire, devastating the Arab fleet. Nearly 40 years later, a greater effort was made, but once again, Greek fire, a harsh winter, famine, disease, and Bulgar attacks doomed the siege of 717 to 1718. Byzantium survived, and Muslim expansion into Europe was checked for centuries to come, ensuring the city would remain a bastion of Christianity until 1453. After conquest came administration. Under Caliph Umar, the army was organized into a state department, with registers recording all fighting men and their salaries. Garrison cities such as Kufa, Basra, and Fustat became administrative and cultural centers. Non-Muslims, or dhimmis, paid the jizya tax, but were exempt from military service and allowed to practice their faiths under protection. The Caliphate's unity fostered long-distance trade from Persia to the Mediterranean and encouraged the spread of Arabic as the language of governance and scholarship, laying the foundation for the Islamic Golden Age. This new order provided stability, infrastructure, and opportunities that encouraged many to adopt Islam voluntarily. The early Islamic conquests reshaped the world. For the conquered, it was sudden and sometimes traumatic change. For the Muslims, it was the Futuh, an opening for the faith and a chance to build a universal community. Conversion was rarely by force. Many embraced Islam for social or economic reasons or for its promise of justice and order. Zubair, once a Bedouin warrior, lived to see a new world where from a small desert tribe he had become a citizen of a great empire. The success of these conquests was the convergence of weakened rivals, religious zeal, internal unity, and military genius. Their legacy was immense, not only destroying old orders, but creating a new civilization that shaped nations, languages, and religions across vast regions of the world to this very day, leaving echoes that are still felt in the modern age.